Broadcasting live, this is KMA Talk Radio, Life, Liberty, and the Pursuit of Fine Cigars. With your hosts, Honest Abe and Adam K. the Brewmeister. Listen to the show anywhere in the free world at KMATalkRadio.com.
I like to smoke them like Sir Winston Churchill, like John Kennedy, yeah. Remember Coach Red Auerbach, smoked up for victory, yeah. Well, you can take my wife, you can take my car, but you can't take my big cigar. My cigar.
Welcome, loyal listeners, libertarians, lovers of the leaf, everyone out there in Facebook land. Welcome to another exciting edition of Facebook Live, KMA Talk Radio. I am Adam K. the Brewmeister. With me, as always, the man, the myth, the legend, a man who needs no introduction, Mr. Honest Abe.
Good morning.
And live from still in New York for almost 3 months now, it's Paul DeGracco.
Yeah, I'm still here. He
gets way too excited for that, really.
I know. What is up with that, dude?
I'm an SNL. It's what I do. Come on.
All right.
You're in New York. It's the only time I'm ever going to get to do that ever.
You get excited by saying that, but you're not excited by the fact that I was on the SNL stage twice in my life. I don't know why that doesn't excite you.
Don't care. Not important. Yeah, don't care. Yeah, not important. It's a misnomer. It's a misnomer 110%. Yeah.
So you seem to be in a good mood, Adam. Did you have a little
fun.
party last night or what?
Of course not. I don't know anybody and I have no friends. And everybody knows that.
Have you been watching sports?
No, because the NBA has been on hiatus for the last 3 days, and if you'd been paying attention, Paul, you would know that.
No, you have baseball. Do you not watch baseball?
No, baseball sucks.
Oh, all right. I didn't realize.
Yeah, no. Baseball is terrible. No one should watch baseball. It's long, boring, and guess what? All the things they try to do to speed it up, guess what? Have made it more terrible. So thus, baseball sucks.
Wow. All right. Well, Adam's on fire today, Abe.
Yeah, he's going. He's on fire.
I have a question for you, Abe. I was surfing social media yesterday, and I happened to come across your Cigar of the Month Club post. You want to tell everybody what happened yesterday?
What, about going to the post office?
Yeah. What did you have, 6 cars packed with boxes?
Yeah.
What happened? Why did you have to bring them yourself?
Well, I mean, look. It's really funny because our old post office guy saw that post and reached out to me. He PM'd me, couldn't believe we had to do that. Yeah.
Wait, Chris or Eves?
Kyle.
I love Kyle. Love that guy.
Very few people Adam loves. So there you have it. That tells you how amazing Kyle must be.
Kyle was great. We love
Kyle. Kyle was a good guy, and he actually saw that post and PM'd me. I mean, look, it's been a rough time for everybody, especially the post office. Obviously, the volume's through the roof. Their staffing is constantly a problem because if somebody gets sick, anybody who came into contact with them can't come to work. They have to shut that whole area down. So they're bringing in new people regularly. So, we're obviously as understanding, as patient as we can be. I mean, there's really nothing much you can do. So I don't know what happened last week, but the new supervisor came in with a new carrier, and I guess the guy who had been our carrier is no longer delivering. And I guess now they have dedicated pickup only. Before, we would get picked up by our regular mail carriers who delivered the mail during the day, come back with the empty truck at night and pick up whatever package. Now they have some dedicated guy. So we met the guy earlier this week, and we just wanted to give him a little mental expectation of what our normal load is, especially at the end of every month. And he just showed up yesterday with one little truck.
Oh,
and between our Cigar of the Month and between our we had your
regular shipments. Oh yeah, that's right.
Our regular shipments, we had all those that had come in, and our guys managed to get them all out. This guy couldn't put half our shipments in his truck.
Oh my God.
And it was around 5 o'clock, and the odds that he was going to be able to go, unload, come back, he wasn't sure. And he's like, worst case, tomorrow we'll pick it up. And one of the things I pride myself on is no matter how big our membership gets, we have all the cigars for our Cigar of the Month Club boxed and ready to go out that morning.
Right.
And I had just made a post that day, hashtag, build today, ship today, right? So
and then you can't ship them all, so you got to, oh, man.
Right. So I looked around, and I'm like, all right, everybody who's got a car, pull up. And 6 guys literally pulled up their cars. We filled them all to the ceiling. The post office guy had to call in to find out if he could get permission for us to follow him there and come into the facility. And sure enough, a caravan of one full USPS truck and 6 cars pulls in, and everybody back there is like, why are there pedestrian cars back here? I mean, like, everybody's like, what?
Oh, yeah.
Start unloading. I tell you the truth, our carrier was super, he called us the cavalry. He was super cool about it, and everybody's shipment, got to the post office. So,
Wow.
Where it goes from here is in God's hands mostly, but, we got them to the post office, and we got them out,
Oh, yeah, it crossed the thing off my bucket list of actually going to the back end of the post office for the first time ever. Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Delivering things to the post office. But, for me, that was actually fun. I thought it was funny. I'm like, all right, let's load it up. And everybody's looking at me like, are you serious? I'm like, yeah, man. You got a car? Load it up.
I saw AJ with his car with the trunk open and the whole back of the trunk. It looked like boxes were pouring out of it, dude. Hey,
well, he
good
had
for
his
you.
back seat. Most of us had our back seats full. I had my passenger side full. I mean, we loaded up our cars.
I had 5 giant bags in my car. There was no room for anything else in there whatsoever. Yeah. In my truck, yeah.
It was fun. I mean, look, we're blessed to be that way. Obviously, our Cigar of the Month Club has become extremely popular. I mean, in fact, honestly, in my opinion, I believe what we did about a year and a half ago changed the whole standard of Cigar of the Month clubs, and I'm all right with that. We set the pace for it, and it's good. I like it. I think other companies have stepped up their game. Nobody used to get excited about Cigar of the Month clubs. No one even talked about it. It was like an ancillary item.
Well, because as I understand it, and correct me if I'm wrong, and I'm not putting down anybody else's programs, because I know that there are a couple of really good ones out there as well. But as I understand it, it used to kind of be like cigars that people couldn't get rid of, right? Like, here are sticks that we haven't sold.
Okay, so look, Cigar of the Month Club is basically a tool, just like every company has certain tools. Like even a butcher shop has ground beef because they use a lot of scraps from some of the other cuts. So you put it in ground beef or breakfast sausage. I mean, That's just the way normal business works. And
or how you make the sausage in general.
Yeah, I mean, so Cigar of the Month Club kind of had that purpose. It'd be a great tool if something was overstocked, or if, they wanted to include a house brand for some customer loyalty. And or they would buy something on an inexpensive or sale or a blowout that they could put in the Cigar of the Month Club, and that was kind of the vehicle of what it was. And this is kind of one of the reasons, like in early 2019, like I would continuously post about people who were disappointed, right? I'm quitting the Cigar of the Month Club. I'm tired. No one ever got excited about it, And I think it was an entryway for new people. Hey, let me join a club so I could try different things, or a good gift item for girlfriends or wives to get their husband. But it wasn't anything that people got excited. So, we just made it a decision that we were going to start one, and we're just going to do it right the way it was supposed to be. And I think that's why ours became so popular. I mean, based on our current subscription, there's never any one SKU that we would ever have enough inventory at any one of our locations, even combined, to even get half our members. So what we do is I literally sit here and I pick, like here, I'm smoking this for the first time. These just came in. And actually, one of our customers who bought a box gifted it to me. Otherwise, I wouldn't even have a chance.
The Brulee Blue from Saka.
The Brulee Blue. But this would be something I'd love to have. Now, obviously, Steve doesn't have enough, but I'm kind of enjoying this. It'd be a new smoking experience, and that's kind of how I attack my Cigar of the Month clubs. Something that I think that could be a classic, something that people haven't smoked in 10 years. It should get tried again, boutique, new. And I wanted it to be an experience. I think because we did it in a legitimate sense of it being a club, not an entryway or an ancillary item, but as a mainstream product for the cigar connoisseurs. I think that's why it took so popular. So after we make these decisions, I literally have to call these manufacturers and ask them we buy the product for the Cigar of the Month Club. So it's not like it's stuff that's ever sitting around. We go out, we have to go get it, and then we pride ourselves on packing them and getting them all out the same day. You know, billing's on the 28th, and we'll get it out on the 28th. If it's a Sunday, it'll go out on Monday, the 29th. And it's become very popular, and for the very first time in a long time, people are excited about Cigar of the Month clubs. I mean, literally, people are comparing me to Santa Claus. They love that time of month when it's coming out. Yeah, it's awesome. I love it. So, but in essence, what we've done is we've upped the game for a lot of other companies, you know. So people are changing how they're doing their Cigar of the Month clubs, which is good for everybody. It's good for the end consumers as well. So we're happy with it.
Entirely. There was a guy who called this week and said he was a member of a different Cigar of the Month club and said he got a certain cigar, and he's like, how is this a cigar that I'm supposed to enjoy? I've never heard of this cigar. I don't know what this is. I don't know where it came from, but guess what? I'm going to sign up for your club. That's what happened.
Getting a cigar that you never heard of is not necessarily a bad thing as long as it's a real cigar.
I love that.
And it was not a real cigar.
That's the problem. Look, there's
the problem. Yes.
There's a couple things that anybody out there who's thinking about joining any cigar club, and there are some really, really good ones. In fact, I think our friends at Corona are just starting a new premium one. I just saw them talking about. So yeah, there are good clubs, but here's the thing that anybody looking into a cigar club should always be wary of and look out for. First off, always deal with a reputable retailer of cigars. There's so many of these guys now who are running subscriptions out of their basements or their garages who aren't even real retailers, and they're just in it for the money and doing, getting what they can and getting it out there. So make sure you're dealing with, first off, a reputable retailer, a guy who has a business, a company that's been around for a while. They're always going to serve you the best in the long run. Then a couple other favorite things. Look, there's a lot of clubs out there who claim to get limited edition or rare cigars every month. And look, just logistically, as a guy who actually has a rare and vintage room in only one of our retail stores, right? The logistics of finding limited rare cigars for a monthly subscription is not even plausible.
Right.
That's why I pride that all the brands we pick are real brands that exist. You can go down to your local store, you can find it. It's known brands, it's known entities, and if something you like, it's readily available, whether they choose to get it from us or not. As a member, you get a code in our club, which gets you a discount if you like anything that month, but you don't have to get it from us. These are all legitimate brands. And then I love this other technique that cigar clubs use, where they claim they cater, like they have you answer questions and they cater it specifically to your profile. Now, Adam knows what we go through every month. Is that even a feasibility?
No.
Right? See here.
No.
Unless they've invested in some $100,000 AI program that's literally, what that's a tool for is that I can run out of stuff and start sending people different things because I can't get enough of one cigar for anybody, right? So there are gimmicks. So we've just been pure in how we run our Cigar of the Month Club, and I think that's why it's blown up. And every month it's absurd. We keep getting. Now it's become regular. See, I have to anticipate, right? So when we buy our cigars for the Cigar of the Month Club, I got to buy, knowing that these cigars may not get used for 2 or 3 months. So I have to anticipate our growth, and we're continually underestimating. And that's why sometimes during the month we run out. Even though I'm trying to order ahead.
Last month.
I think last month was the second or third time it's happened to us. Where I've underestimated, and we just don't have enough of the cigars, and we have to stop members, because you could sign up right now, and as a new member, you'll get September subscription, and you'll get it all the way through the 28th if you're a new member.
21st.
The 21st is when you could order for this current month.
Maybe I should join while I'm up here in New York for the month. I should join now.
I don't know.
So I can get cigars here.
Well, Paul, we have, you're already coming home now, but we have a 3 and a 6 month subscription. You could have done it and got it for 3 months while you're up there.
I could do it and change my address, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Change your address. But look, it's real simple. We just did it right. We did it the way I believe the way I would want it to be if I was a consumer, and it's taken off. So when you have people who believe in you, how do you not load up your cars and run to the post office? That's what we did. And it was actually fun. We were all kind of laughing about it.
It looked like a cool adventure.
It was a cool adventure, dude. Look, you thought the way we pulled in there and the way we were just going out, you thought like Secret Service was coming in behind us. U.S. right?
Oh yeah.
It was fun. It was really fun.
Knocking off my bucket list. Going to the back end of the post office. Yeah, knock that off the bucket list.
Dude, I didn't even know that post office was there. It's like hidden in the middle of nowhere, like alleyways and small side streets.
No, I knew it was there. No, like if you can get there off of Boynton Beach Boulevard, but I didn't know that the back end of going in there off the back way we went in was actually there.
Yeah.
That surprised me, but that made sense after I looked at it all.
They keep that separate from the general public because they don't want to deal with you.
Yeah, they dealt with us yesterday.
Oh yeah.
But you know what? I ain't gonna lie. Even the post office people were laughing and having fun with it.
Yeah.
First off, freaked out when we pulled in, but then they started pulling out the big containers and we helped them load it all in. It was fun.
We have a good question, Abe, from Casey. Do you allow Cigar of the Month Club pickup if somebody's local?
Nope.
We do not.
Hell no.
Sorry, Casey.
Easy there, Adam. Easy. No, we don't, because honestly, it would break down, because we have a lot of local people. It would break down all the efficiencies in how we do the process.
Yeah, it messes up the system.
It's all automated, right? So all these boxes are all packed, and then we label them all that day, and then they start looking through 2,000 labels to find out where your label. They think we're coming across the printer. Oh, there's Casey's. Let me go put. No, it's all mass done. That's how we get it out so quickly. So
don't forget non-PCA compliance.
Okay, well, PC compliance is a whole other issue, but
yeah.
I mean, just logistically, it can't be done. So no, unfortunately, we don't have pickups, and then it's all done here, and then guys would want to pick it up at a store that's not here. So yeah, we have to ship it.
Right. Sorry, Casey, but we answered your question.
Yeah, it would muck the whole process, honestly.
Oh yeah, 110%.
Adam,
you were in rare form.
He's rare form today.
Thank you, appreciate it. I'm
Why?
here to be a.
You had a couple of days off. You had a couple of days off from the show, and now you're
screwing up my golf game, Paul. That's the problem. You screwed up my golf game.
Did you golf the last 2 Saturdays?
You're damn right.
Where'd you go?
I
know he's real.
I played Lakeview, and then I played Lake Worth. Yeah, it was great.
I want to see you golf.
I would like to see you come with me and play golf, Paul.
So I've never played. I'll tell you this: I've never played a full round of golf.
Oh, Paul! I got an extra set of clubs in the house. Come on, let's go, buddy. Come back down.
Yeah, I've never played a full round of golf ever in my life. I want to. You want to hear something messed up? When I was growing up, my brother got private golf lessons from a golf pro from my grandfather. My grandfather took one look at my athletic ability and he just ignored me. I didn't get any.
So in other words, your grandfather was a pretty insightful person.
It wasn't even offered up to me, but my brother got lessons for years at my grandfather's country club, and I used to go there and I'd be the kid that would sit at the bar and just eat cherries while my brother was getting golf lessons from the golf pro at the country club. It was messed up kind of now when I look back on it. How little he thought of me.
I mean, did he really think little of you, or did you just acknowledge your incapacity for any kind of athletic activity?
You just saw everything everyone else was sees. Yeah.
It's funny though, because my dad made me play baseball for years, 6-7 years. I played Pee Wee baseball, and my brother now tells me, at the time I knew I wasn't great, and sometimes I was on the team. This is terrible to say, but back in the day, in the 80s, when you had kids that couldn't play, that's where they put the girls on the team. So I would always have 2 girls on my team, and none of the other teams had girls on them, and I was like, what the heck is going on? So my brother now talks about how every time I would swing the bat, him and my dad would be like, oh god, or I would miss a pop fly out. I was always put in left field or something, where I couldn't do too much damage, and. Yeah, they made fun of me, or they were embarrassed of me all those years. I was like, well, why did you keep me there for 7 years playing Pee Wee baseball if every time I did something you were cringing?
Is there any sport that you enjoy? or feel that you do well?
I have an affinity for baseball now because I worked in baseball.
That's why they put you in there for 7 years.
Well, no, Paul, do you excel at bocce? Are you good at bocce?
Yes, actually, yes. I'm really good at bocce ball. Yeah, I am good at bocce.
There you go.
Is that an Italian joke?
Might be, yeah, a little bit. Yeah.
It's funny because I keep forgetting Paul's Italian. As many years together, every time it comes up as Italian, I'm like, oh, that's right, he is. Because you're literally like the least Italian person I know.
My last name is DeGrasse. I wear the cornicello.
He brings that up every time.
Other than your last name, you're the least Italian person I know. Do you play bocce?
Who, me?
Yeah, you.
I am good at bocce. I mean, I don't play it like regularly, but my parents' house in Vero, they have a winter house now in Vero Beach. When we go there, they have like bocce set up there all the time because it's a 55 plus community. So I've played there.
You ever played down here in Wellington?
No. Is there?
I don't know.
Bocce community?
I just figured you may know.
Come on, bocce you can play anywhere. If you got grass, Paul, we can play bocce in your backyard. I'll get a bocce set. We'll play it in your backyard.
I have a bocce set. It's Stephanie's, believe it or not, but it's a traditional bocce set with like the real I don't know if it's stone or whatever it is, Polino that you throw out there.
I gotta tell you, Alan Rubin cracks me up. Everyone has finite resources. So Paul's grandpa chose to allocate it efficiently with Paul's brother. He didn't want to make a bad investment.
Hold on. So that's not true because at the time my grandfather was very wealthy from a settlement from an incident.
He meant as far as time. He meant time.
Oh, okay.
He wasn't going to put his time with you. That's funny.
That's kind of messed up, Alan. I usually stand up for you, buddy.
That's good. All right, who do we got on for a guest this week, Paul?
Right. I'm excited. I'm a big fan. Go ahead, Adam. Do your intro.
Do your shtick, Adam.
You didn't write an intro this week, Paul.
Well, that's all right.
Oh.
She speaks for herself.
All right. So this week's guest is Melanie Sisco of the Meet the Professor show. And I have no idea what that is because no one told me beforehand what we're going to talk about what's going on. But we're going to find out what's going on. So, Melanie, welcome to KMA Talk Radio. Hi, how you doing?
Hello, what's up, guys? Thanks for you guys had me cracking up back here listening to you talk about. I do play bocce. I'm actually on a bocce team.
There's bocce teams?
I was going to say, there are bocce teams for real?
Yep. Well, I live in a country club, and so part of our club, we have a bocce. We have probably one of the top bocce, setups, I don't know, courts in the nation.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. Stand around and drink.
That's Florida for you. They have a bocce league.
Paul would be good enough to be on your team?
I'm sorry, what now?
Do you think Paul would be good enough to be on your team?
Yeah, definitely, especially with this demographic.
No. I am definitely a better bocce player than Paul. I can guarantee it right now.
Is this a bet?
Bocce.
Yeah.
I can support anytime.
Absolutely. Done.
All right, Paul, this has got to be a KMA thing now. We have to have the Cisco challenge, right? We got to get you and Adam out there, and Melanie, Paul, you and Adam against Melanie and her teammate, and we got to film this competition.
Who's your teammate, Melanie? Tell me it's somebody that's like 80 or something. Is it a young?
I don't ask how old ladies are, but I would say that yes, they're older than I am.
All right, then I'll take on that challenge.
Paul, if you were worth 5 cents, you'll make this happen. 5 cents.
We gotta wait a month till when I'm back down in Florida, but
you're still waiting a month to come back?
Yeah. It's a long story, Adam.
I think it's all been a slow, quiet ploy from Stephanie just to get to Paul so they can move back.
She does not want to move back here, believe me. After 2.5 months here, she does not want to be back.
I couldn't imagine leaving my house for 3 months, 4 months. I mean, I guess that's what snowbirds do, but I just couldn't imagine.
I'm a snowbird now. That's what I keep telling everybody. I'm semi-retired, so, we come up for 3 months.
So, Melanie, you are broadcasting from your home there in Naples, Florida?
Yes, I live in Naples, Florida, and this is my usual station that I do a lot of my lives and shows from, broadcasting from. So,
what area of Naples are you in? Because I'm familiar a little bit with Naples, and
he wants your address.
Yeah. Don't give him your address. Don't listen to him.
You know, North Naples, like
okay.
Almost Lee County, but we're still in Collier.
Okay, all right.
We hit both counties.
I understand completely.
Now, I'm hearing a little bit of a twang there, Melanie. Are you originally from Tennessee?
Yes, I was born and raised in Nashville. So I graduated from college at NTSU, and then I moved down here about 12 years ago.
I actually love Tennessee, man. It's one of my favorite little vacation spots. We've done it 2 or 3 times. We'll go up there and get a cabin and go with the kids. And the people, when you get to that part of the country, are just so, like, freakily polite. It really is. I've always commented on that when I go there, man. The good mornings, you have a nice day, sir. I mean, just you're not used to it when you get there. Like, wow, man, everybody's just so nice here. Mm-hmm. So we love the Tennessee area.
So you don't usually, do you go to Nashville, or you said cabin? So I'm guessing maybe Gatlinburg.
We've gotten cabins in Gatlinburg and Pigeon Forge, and then we've been up to Nashville because I got a good friend who lives up by a lake in Nashville. So those are pretty much the 2 major places. I haven't done the Graceland Tour yet, but that's on my bucket list. Listen, you gotta go. You gotta go see Graceland. I don't care. You gotta go. It's one of those things.
Like these days that they went bankrupt, the plane got taken away by the owner, and like there's
really.
There's a lot of things that went down, and it's in the worst part of town. It's so funny. It's just like
I know, but it's one of those things where you heard about it your whole life, and you just say, I gotta see it.
Did you go in, Abe?
I've never been there.
Oh, I thought you said you had. I'm sorry.
No, I said we haven't done that yet. It's kind of one of those things that eventually I'd like to get to. But have you been there?
No, I've never been to Tennessee. How about you, Melanie?
Oh, Tennessee, I love Tennessee. Have you obviously been there, Melanie?
I have not been to Graceland. My mom actually, when she was a kid, she actually helped her friend with the horses. They had stables back behind Graceland, and so her and her friend would like take care of the horses and then go jump in the pool. Elvis's house.
What?
So,
yeah.
Melanie, we got, Diana, one of my dear friends from Altus. We got some questions. People are already asking, who is Melanie? So tell us a little bit about yourself, because you kind of became a sensation kind of recently in social media, and tell us how you got there and what led you to doing that. Because I understand you had a completely different career not that very long ago.
Yeah, so I started out with like a pre-law degree. I loved reading contracts, and I would work with medical insurance companies and providers and help them with insurance things, claims, And I was working for this company that allowed me it was a startup company. So on top of like doing claim action, we were also starting a company. So I became really interested in the marketing, and I'm already in sales. I've been in sales the whole time, but just started getting really into the marketing and making videos and making digital content and growing the social media and just learning and fascinated by that. And so I know how to network, and I've learned how. It took me a long time to realize that people actually do want to hear what I have to say, but once I figured that out, I was like, oh, okay, this is fun. So pretty much it's just a matter of, it was just kind of like a little journey, and I really got tired of the medical industry and trying to sell to doctors. It was awful. And so I started with a little small job at the local shop here, cigar shop. The lady needed some help, so I went in and helped her, just tried to make my life a little easier for a little while, and then fell in love with selling cigars.
Were you a cigar smoker at the time you took this job? Were you into cigars? So here you were doing stuff in the medical field, decided you were tired of it, got a side job to kill some time at a local cigar shop, and you weren't even into cigars at the time.
No, not at all. Wow.
So how long ago was that?
Last year, May.
So yeah, a little over a year ago.
What made you want to go to a cigar shop? Did you know somebody that was there?
It was just a friend that knew, but he was actually a guy that works with all like the restaurants. You know, he does restaurant work and stuff, like the cleans towels. You know, so he knew all these places, and I was like, do you know something just like simple, easy? I don't want to serve food. I don't want to, you know, I just want something that is just gonna let me kind of be easy. And he's like, oh, she just asked me if she was looking for some help. I was like, okay, so let's go meet her, and yeah, it turned into this. So it's awesome. But I just love selling. I love creating that. You know, when you meet a person who loves a cigar, and then you give them a cigar they actually like, or they're just so excited to have, and then they sit down and they enjoy it and they love it, and then they meet other people and they love that. It's just fabulous. So, like, matchmaker.
Well, I that's what got me into it. I love the cigar lifestyle. The interaction is kind of the coolest thing about what we do, and the camaraderie and the brother and the sisterhood of the people is kind of the best part. I've said it for years. So you're working in the cigar shop. At this point, were you doing anything on Instagram? Was your handle, which I believe is Little Sisco Kid?
Yes, it was always Little Sisco Kid. Once I got away from the health industry, like I was in dental tech. Like I was, because I was medical and dental. So you can kind of, it's really cool if you can do that, but nobody can make that happen, and I don't have the time to deal with them. So it's like one of those things, but I just changed it back to my name, and I thought about trying to think of a cigar kind of user tag name of some sort, but really everybody's like the kid, and so I just kind of stuck with my name, and I think it's a good decision. And then the 21 worked perfect because you have to be over 21 now to smoke cigars.
What did the 21 originally stand for?
It's a high school number.
Ah.
Yeah.
Okay, so when you started it, and then how old is that handle that you're currently using now?
Little Sisco Kid, I actually created that. The Little Sisco Kid 21, that's only about maybe 3 years old, maybe 2.5,
Right.
And then, but my Little Sisco Kid, I've had that username since I was in high school. It's printed on my backpack. Like, I was...
Wow.
Melanie just made me feel real old. Talking about having an Instagram handle when she was in high school.
No, it's my handle.
There wasn't cell phones when I was in high school. Oh my God, that's old. So now, how did the concept of you becoming basically a personality, right? You become basically a spokeswoman and a personality in the cigarverse. How did that evolve from just working in the shop? And then when I started like really promoting on Instagram, there was people actually coming into our shop asking, finding out, like, because I would promote our shop, obviously. So they would come in and they're asked for me. We live in a town, obviously, when you guys were talking earlier about how there's snowbirds going back and forth. They have different homes. So sometimes these guys would be like, oh yeah, I just came from my shop from my hometown, and I told them I was going to Naples, and they asked me if they're going to see Melanie, or they asked me if they're going to, catch you there. And I'm like, I know her, she's a friend of mine. And they're just like, really? Like, it's so funny. And then I've had them come and, they want signed. We would sign some of the cigars whenever they would buy them. Like, people would literally call the shop and buy one cigar just to get it from So I just I don't know, I just kind of just tried to hang on and give people what they were wanting, tried to keep them happy and entertained, and then I just love it. It gives me, I just have a ton of energy. I don't know if you can see that or not, but No, we do.
I love to be able to tunnel it and, at least put it in somewhere where everybody's enjoying it. It's really the greatest gift.
It's a little bit unsettling when that first starts happening, right? When you're out in public and people just start pulling you aside and you're like, and they recognize you. I mean, because, you get used to it after a while. But in the beginning, man, it's a little weird, because you just don't realize. We sit here, even what we do, KMA. I was playing in poker once in Baltimore, and a guy at the table recognized my voice because I don't even think we were doing videos. at that time, right? And when people start recognizing you like that out of nowhere, because you do your little thing and in your little device, right, and you don't realize the reach it gets out there. And I'm sure now you can't get within 10 feet of probably a cigar shop anywhere.
Oh, I'm sure there's a ton of people that don't know me yet, but it is nice to go in and see friends. But really, what I'm looking more forward to is being the chance to get and accept all the invites that I've gotten to come and visit. That's what I'm really so excited to just go and travel and meet the people that I've gotten to know. I mean, we've got so many new friends right now, right? I mean, I'm sure you guys do too.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things too. Is what a terrible time to go out and travel, unless you're Paul DeGracco, where you're just a traveling fool. But what a terrible time now. And all these events are getting canceled and turned away, and hopefully things will go back to normal soon. And I'm sure when that does, we'll be seeing Melanie Sisco in a lot of places.
So we have a question from a listener, from Allison. So how long have you been smoking cigars? It's a new thing now, right?
Yeah, so I would say about mid-February this year, and I really don't want to smoke a whole cigar. I love the social part of it, so it's really hard for me to sit down and smoke a whole cigar by myself. I'm more, if I sit here, this is the most enjoyable cigar that I'm having, because I'm chatting and having a good time. But really, I just wasn't, when I was taking the pictures, and I would light them up and I would kind of puff them and take pictures and promote them. But I think it was the angel share that I was just sitting there one day, and I was done with the pictures, and I was yeah, I think I'm gonna smoke the rest of this. This is pretty good. And then it was the Quad d'Orsay. So I say that, the Cuban. Well, a friend of ours gave that to me, and I was gonna light it and try it, and then give it to my boyfriend because he smokes. And then I was yeah, no, I think I'll keep it. This is actually good. So.
I mean, in your defense, first, I love the honesty, right? But in your defense, that's kind of how we all start. Yeah. I mean, I started smoking cigars in a completely social setting. My first cigar was after we won a football game, and guys were just passing cigars around, and didn't think twice about it. All right, I'll have a couple puffs, and I'll probably bet good money I didn't even finish it. And that's kind of how we all start. I mean, I don't think there's nothing wrong with that, and I think that's great. And the fact that you're getting, but you talk about finishing a cigar. You put out a lot of content. I mean, you put out a lot of content, and I catch it. But you always got such big cigars. Have you ever tried a Corona? Because honestly, I was the same way when I first got in. I wouldn't smoke anything less than a Toro. I mean, Toros are my size, and as they got bigger. But now during the years, a Lancero, Lonsdale, Coronas, those are my cigars of choice. In fact, this Brûlée is probably the bigger end of my spectrum of something that I would regularly enjoy as a size.
Well, then I'm going to go ahead and plug this in. Being on the Professor Show, you learn a lot about sizes and how it affects taste. And you're exactly right. I absolutely love a Lancero. But Lanceros come in, they're not as readily available, I suppose, in all blends. So I do love small Coronas as well. Sometimes the shops don't have all of these sizes, so I usually get what I can. But when it comes to my Fuentes, I can smoke, the size of this is an 858, so it's about a Corona size. And then you've got my favorite one, the Lost City, and then of course the Angel Share. It's really long, but I think that the way that they are, their size is made for the way that they're supposed to taste. So they taste excellent. So they don't bother me. I'm not going to stick a lunatic in my mouth.
I want to talk about, you just mentioned a couple things with Fuente in your show, so I want to touch base on both of them, okay? Yeah. For someone who I'll call you a newcomer into the cigar verse, you seem to have already developed, a very close relationship with one of the premiering cigar families, and honestly, one of the most elusive families in the industry. I've known Carlito for 20 years, and, it takes me weeks to get a hold of him if I'm lucky, He always responds. He's a busy guy. He's in multiple countries. He's doing many things. He's got a charitable foundation. But you have seemed to have developed this very close relationship with the family between, I see you talking to him and Cynthia regularly. How did that happen? And then we'll get into explaining what the professor showed, because I'll be honest with you, as an outsider looking in, the whole title kind of confuses me. I'm not sure how that came about. And there used to be, in the Mirafell, right? There's another word in there. I don't even. So talk about how your relationship with the Fuente family prospered and grown into what it is today, and then tell us about the show that you're on.
Okay, so pretty much I've just, like I said, I was just getting out there. I do know social media, so I was able to spread myself, get into, and I wasn't selling anything. I'm just sharing content with people. So I think that they like that. And so Jeremiah Marafal, he is the godfather of the Cameroon rapper. So his family, the Marafal family, is the family that goes into Cameroon, Africa, and actually grows that tobacco. And so that's where Fuente met with, the Marafal family, and that's when they decided to use their wrappers on a lot of their cigars. What makes them, the Cameroon wrappers delicious. So
I love it's always been one of my personal favorites. Well, there was a time period when you were basically up too young to smoke, where Cameroon was like the hottest rapper in the country, right? Because we have these phases in the industry where certain rappers just become hot, but Cameroon was using it early on all their, Hemingway and Don Carlos, and became so popular. But for me, it's still one of my staple rappers that I enjoy.
Yeah, it's delicious, and it takes blood, sweat, tears, and life to actually grow that tobacco. It's a jungle out there, So they've had team members die, they've had team members be sick, they've had, So it's a lot of respect for both families. And so those two were already obviously had relationships together, and then they had just hired Jose Blanco. And then they decided that they needed to do something because of Corona. They wanted to get out to the fans. So Jeremiah had seen me on, social media. So he reached out to me. He says, "Hey, he's like, I'm Jeremiah Marafal, and I'm with Fuente, and we're gonna do a show, and it's gonna be you, Jose, or me and Carlito." He's like, "Would you want to be on it?" I was like, "Duh!" Like, is this really happening? Like, did I just get? I can't even. And the message didn't even come straight to me. It went to my, your messages, because you're not even friends with that person yet. So I was like,
I always hated that, right? If you're not friends with a person, they send you a message, it goes to some weird place that sometimes you don't see it for months. Like, you have to go and look for it. It's really weird. I hate that.
So I just happened to be looking at my phone as it came in, and it said, so-and-so is trying to message you. And I was like, okay. And then I just said yes. And he's so funny because he says, "Great, because I already put you in the trailer, so we're going to start this week." Okay. And so that's what we did. And to tell you the truth, I'm baffled, almost just as speechless, and obviously extremely grateful to be asked and to be working with them so closely. And yeah, the amount of attention is amazing. It amazes me too. I get goosebumps when I think about how much they will do for me. It's amazing. So I love that family. And Rocky Patel too is also another supporter of mine that I've just been able to work with some really awesome people in the industry, some legends. So sometimes I think of myself as like hashtag sitting with legends, sitting with the legends. Like, here I am, just hi, I'm just the girl. But I've learned a lot about cigars, and I knew a lot about cigars even before I started smoking them. And so that was really cool. And being on the Professor Show, you learn so much interesting information about the leaf, and and even with Rocky Patel, he teaches a lot of information too that's very interesting, just like the way that they prime it, and what goes in, how many people are actually there. Listening to Cynthia talk about ladies, the women of the industry, and how much women are very much a part of the industry. And then, I love how they're a conservative family, and they have, deep values and traditions and everything, but at the same time, they're open and they like to have fun, and they want to connect more with your, or their customers and their loyal, I don't want to call them fans, but just friends, family, cigar family, yeah, that's what it is. So it's a great show, and I'm honored just to be on it. And Jose Blanco has been around. I'm sure you guys know who he is, right?
Yep, been around for a while.
So he's got all kinds of just great information to listen to and share with even your other friends. When you go into a cigar lounge and you have somebody that's having a little trouble, guess what? You can help them out because you know what to do now. So it's a really cool show. We're really trying to bump it up every Friday. I get on with Cynthia. They allow me to give away free Fuente swag. So we just, you get on, it's a lot of work. I do a lot of work.
Well, listen, I appreciate the work you do because, I want to be clear because listen, in this industry, and, living up to my moniker, I always have to tell it how it is, right? Yeah, in this industry, look, we're mostly made up of men. Men could also be crude. I'm sure that you've probably had your share of people who try to cross the line and not be a proper gentleman. But see, I've always been from day one, and anybody who's been around me long enough, and Paul, it's only been, about 3 or 4 years with you, but I'm a big proponent for anything that creates excitement and fun and propagates our lifestyle. And that's what you're doing. So there's always going to be some haters who don't appreciate it. Oh, it's just a girl with a great body and whatever. Who cares?
I know.
You have how many followers on Instagram?
On Instagram, it's like 22.9. I'm like at 22.998. I'm like, come on, can I just get to 23? It's driving me nuts.
But that's people that for whatever reason, are getting excited about what we all enjoy, our passion, our lifestyle. And for me, that's always a good thing.
Yeah, why not?
That's really one of the reasons why I created Battle of the Bands, which we'll talk about, I'm pretty sure, when Coop gets on, right? Mm-hmm. It's fun. People are talking about it. We got a month of, I don't know if anybody saw Kevin's video of Randy the Macho Man Savage. Oh my God, it was over the top.
Oh, yeah.
You got to find it, Paul. It was over the top, but
I'll watch it.
It's a month long of fun, and then that's what we're doing. So my props go out to you. I love it, and I don't care whether you're a guy or a girl or both. If you can go out there and create a following and have excitement and continue to propagate and share what we do, the lifestyle, the fun we have, the camaraderie we have, I think it's an awesome thing. So, make sure you don't let anybody discourage you.
Well, I appreciate that. And it looks like Carlito is watching me and supporting me too. So, hi, Carlito. Say hi.
There you go.
But no, I love it. I appreciate all of you. You guys are fueling me, the industry's fueling me, the people are fueling me, and I maybe get a few haters, but it's really, I believe that positive attracts positive. So I really don't get a lot of negative, and I really don't get a lot of rude gentlemen, to tell you the truth. I have a lot of respect for the cigar industry because of that. There's a lot of gentlemen in the industry that are not looking to just go after a girl or anything, but they like it. It's like we enjoy watching it. It's nice, it's beautiful, but that's it. It makes me want a cigar. Not me. Wants a cigar.
Yeah, I think it's like Abe's saying, the entertainment value and the social aspect of it. Everything is good for our industry as long as it's painted in a positive light. And I agree that it's kind of just an added bonus that you're beautiful. I don't think that's the whole point of it, to be honest.
Right. That's just a gift from God that I don't have to spend so much time in the morning. Thank you.
I don't have to spend a lot of time in the morning.
Yeah,
Adam does.
Adam's got golden bangs. He's got to flaunt and get.
Hey, I put the hair gel in this morning. That's what's going on here. All right, come on. We got the fan on because it's hot in here. Yeah, come on. I don't know. I'm trying to make it all work out. Okay, come on.
When's the last time you went to your hairstylist, Adam?
3 weeks ago.
Wow. Oh, so you're due.
No. I'm not due because I have to go every 6 weeks. So it's the 19th, but I have to cancel that one because I'm going to be out of town.
All right.
Fascinating. It's fascinating.
Mm-hmm. Now you also offer a Q&A. I've seen them on your stories. It's like a series of 20 or 30 questions that people ask you and you answer them while smoking a cigar. How can people submit their questions?
Okay, so what that does is that's on Instagram. So if you go to my story on Instagram, I post and there's a strategy to it to get so many answers. But like I post it and it's just a question, and then I swear it is hilarious. I get probably 100 different questions, and people are like, "Why didn't you ask my question?" I'm like, I gotta move on. Like,
right.
We'll get around to it. Just keep asking them, but it's so much fun for me. I just love it. It's a way for me to connect. It's a way for me to like goofball around with the questions. I like dodging some of them. If they ask me like somebody asked me like, how did you get so darn cute? And I was like, I think I got it from my mama. Like it's just like stuff like that. Or it's just other kinds of Glenn Loop is watching. Guess what? Glenn Loop is going to be on our show this weekend.
He just gave a plug. As well. It's up on the screen.
I just saw it, and that should be a good show because he's going to update the politics of what's going on.
Yes. So that's another thing that I get to do that I'm really, I get to be around the politics of this, I'm being friends with Rocky Patel, and then, of course, the Fuentes and all the other legends that are fighting for the cigar rights. It's awesome. And, well, right now the FDA probably really does not really care much. Oh, don't let me forget Gabby Packard. Definitely another great fighter.
Mm-hmm. He was on earlier, another big fan.
He was.
You seem to have become, you seem to have caught the eye of a lot of the industry's top manufacturers, so kudos to you.
I still can't get half of them to answer me.
Yeah, Paul can't get anybody to answer it. Paul, you should ask Melanie for help to get guests for the show.
Mm-hmm.
You can have her crumb leftovers.
She can be our liaison.
I would definitely be an agent for somebody. That's probably true. But you don't call them. You smoke their cigars. You post them on the internet.
Well, funny enough, when I reached out to Melanie to ask her to come on the show, I didn't get an answer. Then when Abe did, he got an answer right away.
No, that's not the funny part. No, okay, so I wasn't going to bring this up.
Oh, let's bring it up. I want to talk about it.
But now I'm going to bring it up, right? So I reach out to see if Melanie wants to come on the show. And I text Paul. I said, look, I reached out to Melanie. She'd like to come on the show. Go ahead and book it. And Paul's like, well, I already reached out to her like 3-4 days ago and whatnot. I'm like, all right, well, whatever. Get her on the show. So then Paul joins a group text.
Well, we were chatting. Hold on. Preface it with the fact that Melanie and I were chatting because when you were on Coop's show, I DM'd Melanie because she wrote something like, oh, I'd love a KMA t-shirt. So I was like, hey, I'm the guy that could hook you up with that. So I was like, I can help you out. And she and we chatted a little bit, and I mentioned the show to her, and then I didn't hear back from her. Go ahead, Abe. Continue.
So after I start the group chat, Paul hops on because Paul's like, kind of telling me, oh, I've already been talking with her. I had this under control before you got. I'm like, all right, just get her on the show. So we go to the group chat, and Paul, hi, Melanie, my name is Paul. I'm sure you know we've been chatting the last few days about you coming on KMA. And Melanie responds, yeah, well, I talk to a lot of people. Melanie, Paul was so butthurt on the side chat. He was so deflated. Dude, she doesn't even know who you are. Oh, my God, we were dying on the side. We were cracking up.
24 hours. I needed a minute to like process everything.
Meanwhile, I was becoming quite the little fanboy for the last couple of weeks, and then in front of Abe, she shoots me down like, I talk to a lot of people. I don't know who you are.
Literally.
I was trying to save myself. Really, I was the embarrassed one.
Oh no, it was brilliant. That made my day. I actually
sends it to me now.
I screenshot that dialogue, and I just send it to Paul randomly, like every couple of days, just in case he's in a good mood, just to bring him down a little bit and depress him. Just in case you're feeling good about yourself today, Paul. Here, remember this conversation.
Mm-hmm. Nobody likes Paul DeGrocco.
Anyways,
that's not true. Ronnie Haysha does.
Ronnie Haysha likes everybody.
Yeah, he's asking who he knows who you are at least.
Ronnie lives in a cave. Ronnie's like freaking out because he's never heard of you, but he'll find out after this show. We got to take a break. It's the top of the hour. We got to take a break from our sponsor. But when we get back, we're going to have Cigar Coop. We're going to talk to them about the Battle of the Band sampler and see what's going on. Stay tuned. More after this.
Hola a todos, mi nombre es Elmer Suárez, de La Flor de Copán, en Honduras.
My name is Ernesto Kranwinkel, and I'm from La Romana, Dominican Republic.
Hola, mi nombre es Diana, soy de Manizales, Colombia.
Díaz, Freddy Molina desde Estelí, Nicaragua.
Hola, saludos a todos. María Santis, orgullosa de ser puertorriqueña.
Cheers, I'm Oliver, I'm from London, England.
I love H. Upmann Añejo.
My favorite H. Upmann Dominican cigar is the H. Upmann Banker.
My favorite H. Upmann cigar is the Hermannsbach.
My favorite H. Upmann is the H. Upmann by AJ Fernandez.
Mi cigarro favorito es H. Upmann Española.
I highly recommend you try the H. Upmann 175th anniversary, awarded number 10 cigar of 2019.
One world, together with H. Upmann.
Surgeon General warning: cigars are not a safe alternative to cigarettes.
And welcome back to KMA Talk Radio. Welcome back. We are here live on the Facebook because, well, guess what? That's what we do now in the era of Corona. With me, as always, the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Honest Abe.
Hello.
And still live from New York because, well, he's a snowbird, Mr. Paul DeGrocco.
My dad thinks it's hilarious that he's a snowbird and so am I now.
Oh, yeah. Good for him. I'm glad he's in on the joke. That's all that matters. So, what do you think of the Brulee Blue, Honest Dave? I have to ask.
All right. Well, I'm gonna piss the hell out of Steve Saka here.
Well, you didn't love the regular Brulee. It just wasn't your style. I happen to love it.
I didn't love the regular Brulee because my first experience was I tasted sweetener on there, even though he makes his whole sampler about shut the heck up. Sampler, about the sweetener and stuff.
Which shipped out yesterday, for those of you interested.
Yeah, I mean, look, I'm going to be honest with you. The cigar is smoking phenomenal. The ash has been on point. The flavor is actually very, very good. But I just can't lie. When I first put it to my mouth, there's just no way I can comprehend that I did get some, there's a sweet tip to this, which dissipated shortly after I lit the cigar. But for me, that's always, a knee-jerk reaction. It's like, it's when you drink a diet soda and you taste, and you don't drink diet all the time, and then you taste that fake sweetener in the taste. Yeah. You recognize it right away. It's kind of what I got. But after that, it dissipated. I know that he claims there's nothing added, but whether it's added or not, it's the taste I get when I smoke a Brulee right off the tip. It could be just my own palate. But after I got past that, this is actually, this is a really, really good cigar. Really good.
But, is it possible that, some tobacco, with some herbs and spices, there's a natural sugar that comes out of them? Or no, you still think it's that?
Listen, I'm not a farmer or an agriculturalist. So that's questions you'd have to ask other people. Mm-hmm. I already had my little, Steve told me to go F myself when I... well, because what happened was I didn't know.
No, we sent him a video. Remember? Well, you tasted it.
I know, but I sent him a video when I sent it because when these cigars come out like this, hot, someone gifted me this because we have people lined up, so I'll take care of our consumers first. Someone bought a box and gave me this one cigar, so I would smoke it because I won't take it from my consumers. So someone had done that, and I had lit it up during one of our pre-meetings for our KMA shows, and I noticed it was sweet tip right away. Now, at that time, I thought that this was something that was done purposely. I didn't know about a debate or people questioning it. So I just merely texted Steve saying, "Dang, I didn't know that this new release was going to be sweet tipped." Now, meanwhile, he had already gotten a barrage
of people
from everybody else. This was unbeknownst to me. So he literally sends me this flaming hot text, like, go after me, whatever. I'm like, but we've been friends for a long time. No one's getting offended here. And I'm like, all right, dude, I'll talk to you later. And he called me on the car ride home and explained to me the whole situation. So, Steve knows what he's doing, but whatever that's being done to it, that's the sensation I get when my tongue first hits on the tip. Now, it was really profuse when I first smoked Brulee. This was very, very, very subtle. So, I can't say that it's all non-possible. It's a completely natural byproduct of the process. Mm-hmm. It's just that initial subtleness of flavor, however it's produced, is not my cup of tea. But it was extremely subtle. It dissipated very quickly. And then I'm telling you, I've been enjoying the heck out of the rest of the cigar.
Do you have any more of the STFU packs, or did you sell them out?
We ordered 100 samplers or 150, I can't remember, when he first did it. And he literally texted me back. He's like, "Are you sure?" I'm like, "Yeah." And they were sold out before we got them. They've been sold out for a long time.
Because I'd like to. I want to try those. I think that's a really cool.
Order one like a consumer, Paul.
You just said that you're sold out.
Yeah, but we posted it up like 3 months ago. 3 months ago.
3 months ago. Come on.
Yeah,
I don't think that. No, I'm an impulse buyer. I don't think that far ahead. That's why I don't have a Brulee Blue to smoke here.
That's why you constantly miss out on stuff like that and Gundurma and other cool stuff that comes out.
I know.
The only reason why you got any Red Meat Lovers Club is because you're just local and know us.
I never got any Red Meat Lovers Club.
Well, there you go. He's never had a Red Meat Lover. Did you hear that? What?
And the only reason why I had a Gundurma and fell in love with it was because Ronnie, when he came, gave me one, and that was a great cigar too. That's another Saka cigar.
Unlike your cheapskate, but I bought some from him. Yes.
I'm on a fixed income, man. I got kids.
I got. Dude, you stop! Don't make me embarrass you.
We're in very different tax brackets.
Don't make me embarrass you on a national broadcast. Stop.
Oh, Jesus Christ! Oh my! All right. Anyway, so we still have our special guest, Melanie. Thanks for being here. Yes, Melanie. Thank you for sitting by the pool and hanging out. So, Paul gave me this info sheet. So, can we talk about the nip slip incident? Because it's on the sheet here.
All right, Paul. He's totally tried. Fine. Yes, there was it was a total accident, completely not intended, and really, I didn't even think it was that big of a deal. It's like, shit happens.
Yes, it does. You can say shit on the show. It's fine. Yes. Or on Facebook. It doesn't matter.
You just got to keep going through life. And you know what? I saw this one meme and I really liked it. It's bathing suit season. So if you see a little nip slip, you're welcome.
I mean, it happens all the time. I don't think it was that big of a deal, but it obviously made some waves. And look, it honestly is a common occurrence. It's happened more often than not for many people. It happens in everyday life.
Happens to me all the time.
I mean, not to mention...
No one's happy when it happens to you, Paul. That's the difference.
That is very true.
The big one, yeah. Not to mention, there's also the characteristic of the early 90s, early 2000s, when it was like people were doing it on purpose.
Oh, yeah. There you go. Janet Jackson.
I didn't know that happened.
A la Tara Reid. Not to throw any names out there or anything.
Just to be clear, it was not on purpose.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I think that Coop is ready to come on if we are ready for him, guys.
Yeah, bring him on. Let's see what's going on.
Melanie, do you know Coop?
I have just recently met Coop. I saw, I think it was Jose on his show, or Carlito, one of them, but I saw the whole show, and then I also watched Abe on his show as well. No, it was not. It was Cynthia Fuente. And then I saw Abe. So, yeah, he is a cool guy, very well-spoken.
Koopaloop, what's going on, buddy?
Hey, good morning, everybody.
So, you're in the garage again, I take it.
Actually, I just came in quicker. Yeah, I'm going to put my cool background on while we talk.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, there's a new studio actually I've put in place in the garage now. So,
nice.
I thought you'd be using it. I saw your post saying if I had the second best studio next to the dojo dash, I'd be happy.
It's being worked on.
Do we have? Oh, there we go. Okay. I'm like, wait a second, something's not working here.
Yep.
Are we? Hold on.
Can you hear me?
See Coop's video. Yeah, I don't see your video though, Coop.
I do.
It does not come in.
You see Coop's video?
Yeah.
I see my video.
Turn off your camera and turn it back on, Coop, maybe. Because I got nothing.
There you go.
Let's try it again. Oh, wait.
And you just lost it.
I see him on my screen.
Yeah.
I see him on my screen on the computer.
That's so strange. I don't see him at all. Coop, do you have any blocks for some reason?
No, he's not coming through. Or did you just put it on Coop himself? It's showing the Skype logo.
He's not coming through at all on our system. I don't see him on Skype.
Skype doesn't want to see your face.
You want me to let me reboot the Skype and come back in?
All right, we'll wait for you. We got stuff we can talk to Melanie about.
Okay.
Let's talk about our hobbies. You got a list of hobbies. I do a lot of things, but I have to know, what is pickleball?
Oh, pickleball! I love it.
Yeah, I've never heard of pickleball. So you're gonna have to enlighten me on what pickleball is.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so pickleball is a little bit like tennis, and it is. We are like there's even an international like pickleball. It's like tennis, like now, big time.
That's tennis, the hard ball that doesn't really move.
It is a wiffle ball, like is it wiffle?
Oh.
Yeah, it's a wiffle ball. It's a yellow wiffle ball usually.
It looks like you're inside of a tiny. It looks like you're standing on a ping pong table. That's what the court looks like. And so you just like, you're just.
My whole body is bigger than a whole ping pong table. How would I fit it?
Okay, so imagine it being your life size.
Okay.
So
it's just tennis, the ball that moves weird and slow.
No, it can move really fast. It's a wiffle ball. It's got holes in it, so you've got.
Yeah, but it does this, doesn't it, when you hit it?
Yeah, I mean, like it just depends. You can hit it in many different ways. I like to play with both hands, I guess, and the dexterous. So instead of having a backhand, I just play like frontward and frontward and frontward all the time. Cool.
How did you get into pickleball?
Yeah, Valerie says pickleball is huge. It really is.
Well, not to mention they hold the National Pickleball Championship in Naples, Florida, actually, yes.
Oh, that explains it now.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So I live and I'm part of a club. We live in a nice area, and so the courts here are like the newest, greatest. Like we have the best courts. Like something about the way that they bounce, I don't know, but it's fun, and the demographic that I get to play with is pretty cool because I can just I'm quicker going backwards than they are, so I can lob it over them, and it's a lot of fun. But really, I'll go out there with just that. They even have a pickleball machine that just throws you balls. Because right now we're not allowed to play a lot with each other, because of the
yeah.
Yeah, they got the tennis court still closed in our development, which mind boggles me. So it's an outdoor sport and shit. It's nuts.
Ours are open. All our tennis pros are there, and we've got our gym is open. But there's probably maybe 25% of the neighborhood are here right now.
Wow. So Paul, have you been able to get Coop on yet or no?
I have Coop on, but I can't see him.
Can you guys see me?
I see you, Coop.
Yep.
Adam's looking at the computer screen. I can see you on our computer screen, but when Paul tries to put it through out in Facebook Live, it shows up as blue, though I haven't seen you try it recently.
Yeah, I know, because I don't see him in the Skype chat either. So he's not on my computer screen. He's on yours and not mine. So I'm not sure. I don't know why that is. But we can talk to Coop like this.
Yep, I'm here. I mean, I see me.
I see me. I would hope you see you.
Yeah.
I see Coop.
Well, Coop, I'm going to throw you on the bus. You seem to be a big fan of Melanie's. Coop reached out to me early and says, you got to get Melanie on your show.
Well, you know, Melanie, I know Jose for a long time, so I know they've been doing the show. So, you know, and Melanie's definitely got a following out there on social media. So I said to Abe, Abe, if you don't get her on the show, someone else is going to beat you to it, right?
You did. Yep. Coop, I told Coop as soon as he moves to Florida, he has a producer job all ready for him. And don't worry, Coop, we can afford better now, so we'll pay you better.
Right.
We can afford better.
Maybe he could get Skype to work properly.
I'm pretty sure he'd have it figured out. So, Coop, I want to talk to you.
Okay.
I know you got some news, but I want to, look, you're our co-host. We work with you, so I want to give you your moment here. But I got to tell you something. I want to talk a little about Battle of the Bands. Sometimes I come up with some really crazy stuff, and I'm not sure how it's going to go over when I pitch my idea to somebody. So I wasn't sure how these media guys were going to go over when I thought up of Battle of the Bands, because even though it's only been out for the week, we started talking about this, a couple months ago?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's going back to about early June, late May, maybe.
So we started talking about Battle of the Bands, and they all were like, awesome. So I was like, oh, great. So they're all into this, and they're all excited about it. And, we went through the process of getting everybody's selections and the art down and getting the site up and working. But everybody's been really cool, and everybody's been really, nicely competitive about it. I've been very, very happy, and it even seems like the consumers have gotten excited about it. The manufacturers have gotten excited about it. So it was very, very cool. It's been a project that I think has been successful, and I look forward to doing it again with a little tweaks next year, because obviously the first time you do everything, something you can't think of everything. But I got to say, Coop, you really, in honest journalistic fashion, broke your sampler down as to how it was selected, the manufacturers, and I think I could say maybe, because you and I talk maybe a little bit more than I talk to other people. I gotta believe that you put probably more thought into the package than a lot of people. I know Kevin did a lot of work, because he changed his thing like 3 or 4 times. It was driving us a little bit crazy on what he wanted to do. But you definitely had a definitive thought process on how you wanted to attack your Battle of the Bands package.
Well, I thought I had to do it right for one reason. One is I knew this is going to be a case that was going to piss people more off than made people happy, because there will be 5 people who are really happy in this thing and a dozen people who are unhappy, right? So I said I better have some criteria, otherwise I'm going to hear it.
Well, that's smart too, but I didn't understand why people would get upset, because all you guys seem to have your top 5 or top 10, which puts you in the same predicament, right? You're going to make some people upset. I mean, it's part of the process. For you to do your job, you got to talk about what you like. It doesn't mean anything negative about anybody's product. It's your personal opinion.
Well,
and
exactly.
People who follow you tend to generally agree with your personal opinion, because that's why they're following you. When you make recommendations and you talk about something, it falls in line with how their profile or preferences are.
Right, and like I said, I knew there had to at the same time be a theme. Like, don't get me wrong, even though I put criteria in there, I still had a dozen people crying about this. How come I'm in the pack? How come I'm in the pack? You see the crybabies come out in the cigar industry.
Well, cancel. What?
It's interesting, because I one of my criteria was, I did things by people who've been in the industry for a quarter century, 25 years. If I ever did this next year, maybe I go do a different way, and I do newcomers to the industry. So I mean, it's just this is what I decided to do. I kind of knew I was kind of also going against my competition, and I said I had an idea what each of those guys, maybe except for Kevin, because I didn't know him as much. I knew what those other guys. I knew some of the stuff that was going to be in their samplers, or at least the brands.
Well, I got to tell you, I didn't know what to expect, and obviously, there are certain things now I thought, but Kevin was one of the, I think, the newer guys involved with probably the smaller amount of following. And, in my conversation when I invite him, he really was like, I'm just going to do this for fun because I'm going to be. But I got to tell you something. He's put a second or third or fourth level of effort into doing this. Did you see his video yesterday?
I didn't. In fact, I just heard about it earlier.
You got to watch it. I mean, if they're giving out awards for theatrical performances, he deserves one. I don't know what you'd call it, but it's basically a great rendition of Mean Gene Okerlund and Randy the Macho Man Savage.
Oh my goodness!
it's pretty fun. It's pretty funny. Aaron did a thing where I think he's doing a feature with every individual. I mean, some of the guys have really gotten into it.
Yeah.
But overall, it's been great camaraderie. Guys have been having fun doing it. And look, that's the end of the day. We can't have fun. What's the point?
No, I agree. In fact, Aaron and I, we work together. We're partners on the podcast. So we actually kind of did these on our own, and we really didn't tell each other what we were picking until like the day before the announcement at that point. And I bought some of the other samplers already from some of the folks. So because I like some of the cigars and I like some of the guys and I know these guys. So it is a fun thing. I never thought I was going to win. So it's just I just kind of figured I wanted to put something together that was really good I could be proud of it. I'm kind of serious. I'm amazed where I am in the voting. I'm third right now, and I'm very happy where I am.
Which brings me up Mike's point. Coop, does your wife know how much you've spent on samplers so far?
Yeah, well, the answer is I didn't spend as much as some other people in the competition. I bought a few. I have a few and give out as some gifts for people and stuff. But
listen, I know the
I
truth more than anybody. But I tell you what's really been kind of cool and popular is a lot of the cigar media guys. I won't say who. They bought each other's samplers.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I bought some of the other ones too.
Yeah, it's been a very healthy competition. It's been a lot of fun.
Yeah.
There's been a lot of co-buying of each other's samplers, which is kind of nice to see.
Yeah, and to be honest, like I said, the cigars in the sampler, like I said, I would just say, people smoke the sampler. Let me know. I've told a few people, buy the sampler. If you don't like the sampler, I'll give you your money back. So,
I've done that with cigars.
Up on that or not. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's great cigars. How could you not be happy with it?
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, everybody did a really good job of lining some.
There's no bad sampler out there, really. And really? If mine isn't your profile, there's 5 other ones out there that are options, is what I'll tell people.
Yeah. And, we made it a little bit more fun. For every sampler everybody buys, you're going to get 1 entry. And when we do our live show, there it is. Yeah, there's the art.
Oh, kind of.
It's disappearing, but it's there. But we can't see. Oh, you got him on the screen?
No, that's his. I just have a picture of him.
Oh, okay, there you go. But for every sampler that anybody buys from any of the cigar media people, you get 1 entry. And when we do our live reveal show, because I'm going to take the meter down like the last 7 to 10 days, right? We're just going to take it down, let the results fly through at the end. And when we do our live reveal show, announce the winner, present them with their WWE belt.
That's why he did Macho Man. Okay.
Yeah.
Macho Man Savage. Okay.
Talked about trophies with the group, and then Eric mentioned that WWE belt, and everybody was like, kind of liked it. I said, all right, we'll engrave a championship boxing wrestling belt. And everybody who buys one of these samplers you get 1 entry for every drawing, and we're going to do a live giveaway to 3 people who will be the lucky winners, and you will receive a whole complete set, one of each of the 6 samplers from each cigar media person, 30 cigars each. So I thought that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, like I said, there's something for everybody with those samplers too, and there's no duplicate. There's a couple of duplicate lines, but different sizes as far as everyone goes with that.
Yeah.
And most of those, I looked at those other samplers. I'm like, damn, I should have picked that one. It's kind of funny when I saw some of those. So I think it's gonna be a lot of fun.
It is a lot of fun. It's cool. So
Excellent.
I'm glad we're having fun with it. And actually, we got some special packages going out to all you guys this week. It should land hopefully by Wednesday. So to all cigar media people. So it should be cool.
Nice.
All right. So Coop, what's going on in the news this week?
The big story this week was the announcement that the Tobacco Plus Expo, TPE, has been rescheduled to May of 2021. I think this one caught some people by surprise more than some of the other cancellations because this was an event that was scheduled for next January in 2021. And according to what they said, the TPE, they had an option to make the move. They took the option given the current environment out here. So it's going to set up a very interesting scenario going into next summer is that you're going to have TPE and the PCA trade show 8 weeks apart.
Well, not to mention, the TAA is scheduled just a couple weeks before that as well, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. So, and you know, TPE has always had the edge that they were the first trade show of the year. Mm-hmm. Now it's kind of flipped around now. So it's got, you know, it's going to be very interesting to see what some of the retailers with buying power do, given these events are going to be within 10 to 12 weeks of each other now.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I heard people talk about like Intertabac, like is close to PCA, but Intertabac isn't the same. The retailers aren't buying at Intertabac here; they're buying at PCA here, and Intertabac's a European thing. So I think it's going to be very. There's a lot. I've actually been going through a lot of scenarios right now of what companies may do or not do based on these two trade shows very close to each other. Mm-hmm. It's going to be very interesting. It's going to change everything next year for sure.
And if we even actually get to people who actually get to go to them or have the opportunity to go to them.
Right. I mean, are retailers going to go to Vegas twice in 10 weeks?
What's wrong with that? Sounds like a blast.
No, I can't leave my store. I can't leave. Well, they haven't gone to Vegas for the past few years.
You know, it's funny. It's funny, Coop, because I saw you comment, speaking of events, I was really confused because Juan Cancel posted that he was on his way to Rocky Mountain Cigar Fest. And I was like, I thought I read that was going to be a virtual event now. But he still went out there?
Some people did. They have like 50 people. He actually FaceTimed me yesterday.
Of course he did.
I know. They have 50 people out there, I guess, who came anyway, because Dojo guys are having a virtual party and a gathering, and they're doing something from them. There's nothing at the normal venue where they normally would have done it, and I think they sent out cigars and stuff to people. But some people still went out there, but not a lot of manufacturers. I think one might be the only one, but there were about 50 consumers who are there.
It's from what Eric's doing a few shows today. He's got some virtual shows today. But it was funny. He says, I'm traveling to Denver to do a virtual trade show. I'm like, that doesn't make any sense. I'm like, you don't need to get on a plane and go to Denver. I think he wanted to hang out with Eric. I mean, I'm being completely honest here, right? It's not like he's going to be meeting with consumers or anything like that, or retailers.
No, he's having a good time.
He's out there having a good time. I don't know. I saw the social distancing going on in the Dojo studios. I was a little concerned.
There was no social distancing.
There was no social distancing. Yeah. Those guys have been, traveling, on a plane or pool parties and stuff. I'm like, okay, guys, as long as you guys feel safe and having a good time, that's fine with me.
Listen, and I don't know how serious Colorado is, but in New York here, my mother-in-law flew down to Georgia to go to her daughter's dress fitting for her wedding, and she came back up here 2 days ago. They have called the house and texted her every single day to check on her. And the rumor in New York, which I don't know how legal this is that when they call your cell phone, they can pinpoint your location using GPS, so they know if you're answering from your home or where you said you were going to quarantine. Now, there's no facts behind that. It's complete rumor. So, Coop, I know you're rumor free, but that's a complete rumor I've seen. But they're not joking here, man. They call and check up on her every single day. One day they called twice.
Wow. I mean, with everything going on, would it surprise you if something like that was true? I mean, that's
no, it was definitely not a surprise. And I think they could have tracked you on your cell phone anytime they wanted prior to COVID. It is what it is. Society has now just kind of lied down and let government do whatever they want to do. And nobody really cares.
Enemy of the state is real. Just saying.
I agree with you. The Patriot Act, man, they're allowed to do all that stuff now.
Yeah.
But, okay, I understand, but it's beyond, like, now. It's just like and nobody cares. Nobody really cares. It's insane.
Do you care if somebody knows where you are at all times, Abe? Do you? Because my wife calls me paranoid.
I operate under the assumption. Under the assumption that the government could know where I am at any given moment, anyways. I operate under the assumption that any text message I send out can be seen by anybody at any given moment. It's just the way I operate.
Right. It's the same thing. You know, I travel for my job. My company really needs to know where I am. Even for insurance reasons, I understand that. You know, it's not a big brother. They need to know where I am, so I can't, like, hide it, you know.
That's why I've operated under the assumption. It's all right to talk shit and talk smack, but anything that I say is something that I'm totally willing to say to somebody's face.
What was that, Melanie?
I said it's the same thing with being a social media influencer. Like, pretty much one of the ways that I grew my following back when the medical industry was that I started, Irma came along and I had to evacuate from a hurricane. So I just started traveling up, the coast to go find other doctors that I could work with that weren't affected. And I mean, people love to follow where I was going. They like to watch people travel.
I've discovered that too. Like, people were very curious on my travels, so
yeah,
it became very
you do a lot of
interesting.
road trip posts, Scoop.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because you go to all the different fast food places.
That too. That too. I haven't been to many of them because I haven't left the house much. To be honest.
I gotta ask, what fast food are you missing the most?
Yeah.
Oh, it's definitely the Whataburgers. There's one up in Jacksonville. I stop on the way to, when I go down to Florida. I haven't been down to Florida in a while, so it's definitely Whataburger.
So is Whataburger your go-to fast food burger?
It's kind of like the one I go to where, how can I put it? It's the one I go to when I'm, like, out of town, right? Mm-hmm. I don't think I really have a potential favorite. We have in Charlotte. We have a place called Cookout. Probably is the closest one. Yeah, here.
I'm not talking about local bar and grills or
No. Cookout is a fast food place. It's open till like 4 in the morning.
Yeah, I'm talking about national chains.
Yeah, Cookout's a regional.
It's a lot easier to make something better when you only have one location and manage the quality control. Mm-hmm. When you're trying to reproduce something where it's going to taste the same or as good in 50 cities, that's a whole other different monstrosity.
Yeah. Oh,
There's
a big
difference between quality control and taste, though, in my opinion.
Both are important, but I'm going to tell you something. Well, the taste is just basically how they make it ingredients, but the quality control is sticking to that guideline and form that's set. Now, I'm going to tell you something. I don't know if anybody else has noticed. I mean, I'm a big coffee drinker. I drink everybody's coffee. But one of the things that used to really always impress me early on, and I don't know if anybody else has caught this, or maybe some people in the chat will say this, but I used to feel that Starbucks had one of the best quality control things. Like, you could go to a Starbucks, I don't care where you were, and if you ordered that drink and you gave that barista your recipe, that drink came out the same. In the last year and a half, the drink tastes different no matter which Starbucks I go to. I mean, they have, in my personal opinion, can't keep the consistency. Are you shaking your head over there? Are you agreeing with me, Melanie?
No, I want to know what you're ordering. I want to hear like how it sounds. Like, is it complicated?
I hope it's a girly drink.
Okay, Abe's go-to drink, depending upon what the season is usually a triple venti soy latte with. Oh,
he forgot. It's been so long since he had to go.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's a triple venti soy. He wants the. Goddamn.
Rocket scientists working at the barista in Starbucks. You gotta make it.
One of the most important things is I always like it hot, extra hot. We order it extra hot. Adam used to know the temperature. He used to tell him because Adam used to be a barista that worked at Starbucks. So he had my recipe down pat. But honestly, it tastes different now no matter where I go. The best Starbucks now I found in the Palm Beach County area, believe it or not, that makes a consistent drink is there's one off of I-95 on Okeechobee Boulevard.
Yeah, that's where I used to go when I lived over there.
I know that Starbucks.
That's the best one. The one by our house where we live, Paul, sucks.
I don't. The one by us is terrible. And I'll tell you what, I'm a coffee drinker and I drink my coffee black most of the time. And I know this is like heresy to their beliefs, but I think that Starbucks coffee is over roasted. I think they over roast their coffee. I really like a Colombian blend. I like because of the cigar industry, I've really gotten into Nicaraguan coffee. Believe it or not, that twin engine coffee guy that we had on, I'll smoke that from time to time.
So people love coffee. You like everybody?
Yeah, twin engine. Yeah.
That's great coffee.
You want to, okay, now what about, have you guys had the Fuente coffee?
No.
Fuente coffee's been around forever, though.
Yeah.
So I had it decades ago. I don't know if it's any different than it is.
It was good.
Well, I'm just asking. I can send you some. You guys can try it on your show next time.
Yes, we will.
That would be
definitely.
awesome. We are coffee guys, for sure, all of us.
In fact, Adam has an office French press.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wait, speaking of coffee, so my mother-in-law, nobody drinks coffee in the house but my stepfather-in-law, and he is away because he's a traveling doctor. So he's away for a week at a time, and then sometimes 2 weeks at a time. With COVID now, even longer. So there's a coffee pot here that's got to be from 1979, and it's cracked on the side, and he's a physician. It's not like he can't buy another coffee pot, but they've never changed his coffee pot since forever. So finally, I was like, you know what? We're staying in their house all this time. I'm buying them a Ninja. So I bought a Ninja. It's been here for 3 weeks. They haven't used it. So I used it for the first time this morning. And it's a simple Ninja. It's not the one I have. It's like a regular coffee pot. But I'm sipping it right now.
I have that.
Tim Hortons. Yeah, it's great.
Well, Fuente's coffee was made early on. Do you know how the Fuente coffee came about, Melanie?
Yet. No, please.
Well, let me share with you. Fuente used to be a big contributor. I can't remember who was the Shriners or St. Jude's. I can't remember the outfit, or it was a national big known outfit. And they used to donate a lot to them, on top of their own charitable work. And I believe the way the story went down was because it was a tobacco company that they wouldn't accept their donations anymore, believe it or not.
Ah.
So they branched out to making coffee, and all the proceeds from the coffee sales, I believe, if Carlito's still on, he could correct me, were then given to that charity. But I believe that's the story on how the Fuente coffee came about.
Oh, that's pretty cool. That's a cool.
Finding ways around things and taking care of the ways of things that he takes care of. It's amazing.
Yeah, they believed in the cause and didn't want to stop, contributing, but found a way to do it. So, very cool thing. But coffee's kind of becoming a thing now amongst our industry. Very strong, more so than ever.
Gabby Caffey has coffee.
Gabby Caffey's
his coffee's very good. Yeah, his coffee's very good.
Incredibly good. I'm gonna tell you, when we had him on our show, I think we did a remote in Port St. Lucie. He bought some coffee, learned a lot about the acidity, and it was some really, really good coffee.
Yeah. His coffee, the Honduran coffee that he brought, is, I wouldn't call it acidic at all. Like it's almost like there's milk in it already. If that makes like without the flavor of the milk, it's got that creaminess like a Colombian coffee has.
Which coffee you guys talking about?
Gabby Caffey.
Yes, Gabby Caffey. I've got a bag of his too as well.
I've gotten coffee from Kevin Pero over at the Cigar Militia. He sent me a couple. I think the Nicaraguan was really, really good. I liked. Our friend Bill Rangone started some coffee, but I haven't gotten it. I know Bob, the cigar guy, made some coffee now.
Malillo.
So when are they going to start making the scotch and the bourbon and all that?
Well, Jonathan already dabbled into that, and Matt Booth has got their gins.
So wait, Carlito just actually confirmed. He said St. Jude's Children's Hospital, and it's a true story. That's what happened.
And that is my favorite charity to give to because I have a lot of friends and family from Memphis, Tennessee, so they all work for St. Jude. So
you know you're getting old when you can share stories in the industry that nobody's heard, nobody remembers or knows. But yeah,
that's a great story to know, though.
Gain wisdom, Abe. Let's think about this in a different context.
Thank you.
They're just wiser.
Thank you. But yeah, I always love stories. Listen, there's so many awesome stories in our industry like this over time that people didn't. Did you know about that story, William?
I did not.
Yeah, there's just so many stories under the radar over time. So anytime I could catch a snippet like that. I love sharing that.
You got so excited. You're like, oh, guess what? Guess what?
Yeah, it's an awesome. Well, because here's the problem. I always half the time I'm under the assumption it's common knowledge. Right? So I don't realize sometimes how long I've been in the industry and how old the story is and how it may not be so common. So when I find something like that, it's always fun and cool to share.
Well, that's how the Professor Show pretty much is. It is all just old stories. We've got, the legends who have been in the industry for a very, very long time. And they it's funny to hear about how they met or how they started, or even the cigar aficionados that have come onto the show. That is incredible. They changed the whole industry just by doing reviews and giving ratings. Suddenly they were in charge of who was the best, and I just think it's amazing to hear all those stories. So you can catch them all on Sunday at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
So every Sunday at 2 p.m., is that right?
Yes.
All right, perfect.
Daylight savings time.
And Glenn Loop will be on this weekend.
Yes.
I want to, we got on a tangent here, but I didn't get a chance to bring it up with Coop earlier. You talked about the TPE. Were you really surprised by that announcement, Coop? Because I kind of expected it.
I was surprised we heard about it in August. That's what I was surprised about.
I think that's smart because look, we're at the same point.
I thought it was too. Yeah.
We're at the same point too with the Great Smoke. We have to make a decision now for February, and honestly, the TPE was one of the last things I was watching to see how they would react, because there would be the nearest gathering within our industry before our Great Smoke would normally be scheduled. And even though we've kind of are now really focusing on an alternative than to have a physical thing, and believe me when I tell you, and more news will come out, that if we do make the announcement, we go 100% with alternative. In typical Smoke Inn fashion, Abe fashion, it won't be anything like anybody's ever seen before. So it's not just going to be like, oh, we're going to have a virtual event. No, it's going to be insane if we could pull this off, and we're working very hard to pull it off. And we got some very talented national people coming in to work with us on this, so we're pretty excited. But yeah, we have to make that decision now. So I kind of commend them not stringing everybody along to the last minute, and just because sometimes you just got to make a decision in order to do something right. And they called it early. So, but I was watching them. They were one of the people I was watching and waiting for, because they hinted that there would be a good possibility that it may not happen. And I think they just didn't wait till the last minute. And they said, look, we don't want to take the risk. We don't know the outcome. We need to start making preparations. So we're just going to move it to May.
Yeah, it's they look, like I said, it was no surprise that they were soliciting feedback from the exhibitors over the past few weeks, right? There's been calls, Zoom calls, conference calls, whatever you want to call it. So they were getting feedback, but I think what happened here, from what I understand, is they had an opportunity to move the show and took it. But rather than just, there was a date open, they said, and I think they went and did that. And that was the smart move. So I kind of thought maybe we'd hear something October, maybe time frame. Like I said, I was a little surprised about the timing being this early right now. Now you're going to see the ripple effect you'll see with this is the events like you just mentioned. Obviously, Great Smoke is one in question. But you have the festivals in January and February. You have Puro Sabor, you have Pro Cigar, and you have the Habanos Festival. I think now you're going to start to see the attention turn to those. And I've already heard there's discussions on both festivals in terms of at least the Dominican and the Nicaraguan one in terms of what to do right now. So I have a feeling those are going to end up getting canceled too.
I'd be really surprised if they don't, to be honest with you.
I would be too, yeah. I mean, those take an enormous amount of planning as well. So I think they're going to have to, if you're making a call on the Great Smoke, like in February, right, soon, Pro Cigar is a much bigger, much more logistically challenged event. I think they're going to have to make calls on that. People could be flying from all over the world on that too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And you got multiple factories involved, and all of the different venues they go to, and massive events with multiple people all the time.
I'm bummed on it because I went to Pro Cigar last year, and I was blown away what the festivals bring to the table. And I was looking forward to going back this year, but right now, given the situation in the world, I wouldn't go.
Right.
I don't know how I didn't get COVID last year, because there's a lot of people there, right? And there were people at TPE. TPE was right before Pro Cigar. There were people who came out of TPE who were convinced they had COVID.
Mm-hmm.
And they had the antibody.
I heard that.
They had the antibody. So how I didn't get either one of them, I'm like, considering, my history, I'm like,
look, look, if anybody hasn't realized this by now, we're not going to get into a COVID show, but a lot of the early statements and factors that were called out by the CDC and by they just didn't have the data, and I think it's kind of shown it over time. Look, they went with the most obvious thing. If you have a comorbidity, if you have I think they haven't figured it out. I think it's strictly genetics. I think there's some ulterior things that make people more susceptible than others. My father had it, stayed at home for 3 weeks. We called him every day, and he's like, "No, I just got allergies. I get it every year." Refused to go to the hospital, got over it, found out that he ended up having it. He's overweight. He's got high blood pressure. He works out. He's healthy, but he's by no means he has any of the morbidity or multiple of the morbidities. And never had to get hospitalized. And then I know of people who have passed away who were the epitome of perfect health.
Strands. So, once the strand hit in New York, it mutated about 30 times. So New York got the deadliest one. And then as we, statistically numbers will just, make those strands different. And obviously not all of them are deadly, but yes, that deadly one is still out there.
So I just think that, some people are just going to have a different immunity level, and that's just the way it is.
Are you one of these guys? Are you one of these guys that thinks on November 4th that COVID goes away?
Okay, so no. What I tell you, what will go away November 4th, according to my opinion, and I don't want to get too political on this, is look, anybody out there who doesn't believe that there's been a narrative that's been pushed upon us throughout media, I've been on the phone with some of these politicians, and they'll tell you that most of this has been a media play, and even how they're doing legislation here in the state, right? So the virus is something that's real. It's out there, right? And people will get sick. But the coverage of it, the effect of it, it's the media's attention will go to something else after November 4th. And I believe in that. I believe once the media coverage goes to something else,
the elections start, of course.
Right. Then society will forget, and it'll move on to the next.
They stopped showing COVID whenever the the protests started.
And that's what they do. Media pushes a narrative nowadays, and there's just not quality news media anymore. Today's mainstream media is effectively worse than the National Enquirer, and you're probably too young to remember that, Melanie, but the National Enquirer, there's a parody from Men in Black where that's the real news of the world, right? So, COVID's not going away. The effects of COVID's not going away, but how they've instilled fear into America and got people willing to behave in ways that they never thought would be acceptable is strictly been a media play, without a doubt.
I don't think the media's that smart, but I agree in some ways. But I think that the fear that they instilled is probably the fear that they had in themselves. A lot of people.
Some of them. Okay, listen, Melanie. It always works downhill, right? So the people who create this knows there are people who are going to believe it, and then they go on and propagate it because they're believing it.
Yes.
Right. But the truth is somewhere. If anybody out there really believes that the truth has been filtered down to us common people level in the world, you're really delusional. Nobody knows what really is going on, but there's definitely a core of people who know exactly what's going on and why it happened and what really is going on, and they filter the stories down. I'm sorry, what was that, Melanie?
I said, unfortunately, those people that know are not in our government.
Well, part of them are, but yeah, I guarantee you, there's a group of them that aren't politicians that are part of that knowledge pool. But yeah, I think look, whether it's any issue.
He used to get all of his news from Mad Magazine.
Me too, Carlito.
Mad Magazine.
First of all, I still have a subscription. To Mad Magazine. I love it so much. I've loved it my whole life.
Abe, there's an idea for you, Abe. Do another comic book, a Mad Magazine of the cartoon industry.
Well, we already did it. We did a strip. Not a
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, do another one of those is what I'm saying.
Yeah,
I did the one with Matt Booth. The one with Matt Booth, yeah.
Yeah, I did it with Matt Booth. The Adventures of
Yeah.
Delicious Swanky White.
Hot girl smoking cigars on the Instagram. Like, I think that would be so funny. Just like all these characters, and you're drawing hot women, but then it's like they're what you guys think that we're actually going through.
Carlito Fuente said I wasn't born yet. Yeah, I was, Carlito. I remember going into our library at school and they had Mad Magazine. I would always grab it.
Oh, yeah.
I've had a subscription for 30 years almost.
You'd always want to know what TV show they were going to do, like a play on. Then they had the Mad Magazine late night show, which I thought was awesome.
Artie Lang was on it. It was a great show.
Oh,
they only went for like 10 seasons, 9 seasons, something like that.
I mean, for a long time, I was watching that over Saturday Night Live. I mean, I thought they were doing some really good stuff and pushing the envelope on stuff with that Mad TV.
The first 3 years were awesome.
Oh, they had a guy who did Mike Tyson. They had someone.
Jim Carrey was on it.
Yeah, Oprah, yeah.
Kenny Rogers' Jackass was the best bit from that.
Yes, that was great. The Sopranos stuff they did was hysterical. They'd have the Sopranos like on Family Feud and stuff. It was hysterical.
And Raging Rudolph.
Then we'd always see Kenny Rogers on the news driving home drunk from those situations. Well, Kenny Rogers had picked up this morning.
What else you got going on? Any other tidbits of news this week?
Yeah, there's a few other things going on. I mean, this is while he's not a huge name in the industry, it got a lot of news this week that Danny Vasquez is leaving Romacraft to back. He said left already. His last day of the company was yesterday. So
Camelot has fallen?
I guess. You know, Danny had a very small company, but built up a following. He had that Barracoa cigar company, and he kind of built a name for himself, even though he had like one line, and he wasn't in a lot of stores. A lot of people like Danny, and then Danny went over to Romacraft for 3 years, and he was working. He wasn't really doing a lot of customer-facing stuff, you know, in terms of events, but he was more of a behind-the-scenes inside sales guy. So he has departed Romacraft right now, and that made a lot of news this week.
I heard he's moving to Florida.
I heard he's moving. Yeah, I've heard he's. I think he's moving up to the Tampa area.
He'll be in your neck of the woods, Melanie. He'll look you up.
Awesome! I can't wait. I've heard so many things about his cigars, and I actually have one now, and it is like a Corona size, so I'm looking forward to trying it.
There we go. All right, very nice. What else is going on, Coop?
I guess cigar-wise, the big news this week was Nick Melillo's Foundation Cigar Company. They're announcing the El Wawense 5-year anniversario cigar. It's going to be coming in September. It's going to be coming in a very nice collector's chest. He's going to be producing the cigar out of the Aganorsa Leaf Tabsa factory, which he's worked with before. And if you're a real cigar geek, the thing about this blend that's a little different is it's got a Nicaraguan Corojo wrapper, San Andreas binder, and Jalapa Nestle fillers, but the San Andreas binder is typically not something you see out of the Tabsa factory. So it's something a little different that he's working with right now. Those are supposed to hit the stores in September. Now, here's the little thing I'll say about this. The cigar itself comes in one size, and it's a 4 3/4 by 60 chubby perfecto. That little short chubby perfecto.
Which is an interesting size for Nick, because that's not something he usually puts out and hasn't really done before.
Well, there may have been a place you've seen a cigar that size before. That's out where he worked at.
That's actually Stephanie's nickname for Paul, the chubby perfecto.
That's funny.
Okay, that's today's joke of the week. Okay, yep, best joke of the week. Yep, well done. Okay, there we go.
I made my day is complete. I've entertained Adam.
She would never call me perfect. That's how you know that. Wrong.
It did come after the word chubby, though.
Yeah, it did, which is accurate these days.
I'm sure you are a little chubby. Putting all the pounds there, Paul. Huh?
Tell us, Paul, is the pants unbuttoned?
No, I can't wear those pants right now. I'm wearing.
Oh,
you know those pants that they sell at like Old Navy and like that look like khakis, but they have elastic on them. They're like workout pants. That's what I'm wearing. Pants. Oh, yeah, we bought like 6 pairs of those. Well, my wife bought them for me.
You're in real trouble now.
Sweatpants.
They're not sweatpants because they look like khakis. They're just,
Those are your Thanksgiving pants.
yeah, basically.
His Thanksgiving pants are becoming his everyday pants.
His pants, that's a lot of us.
Paul, the baby was born. You can't have sympathy weight anymore.
Right.
Hey, listen, I did yoga 3 times this week because it's helping my back. Yeah, I used to do yoga back in college because that's how you met chicks.
Hey, you just reminded me, speaking of yoga, I want you to get in touch with Allison. I see she's posting that she's done this thing, Yogis and Stogies, where they're doing like a Zoom yoga and then having like a herf right afterwards. So
you guys see my swing? This is my yoga trapeze. I don't know if you can see it.
Oh, the curtain thing.
Is that's for yoga?
That is for yoga. I do aerial yoga, so I can get in the. I can do like inversions, or I can, do sit-ups. Anything. I can work any muscle from that thing. It's really awesome.
So do you hang from the ceiling and do the can you do that stuff like we see at the circus?
Well, it's not as long as the circus, so it's not like I can curl myself up and then fly down.
Okay.
That would be. That's definitely one of my dreams to learn how to do. I would love to be an aerial dancer. That'd be so much fun.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
Well, my wife is hardcore yoga, but I don't think they've ever used one of those. But my wife's really into it. My oldest daughter's actually very good at it.
What does your wife do? What kind of yoga?
She's done the chakram, the hot one, but I think she'll do any yoga that she could find at the time we're going out. If we're traveling and there's some yoga class, she'll do it.
Do you mean
I haven't been to since COVID.
Bikram, yeah.
There's a whole documentary on him. Watch it. It's fascinating. This cult. It's basically a cult. But I've done hot yoga too back when I was younger. He's an evil person.
I was I did hot yoga for 2 years straight. I mean, rock solid. It was awesome. But now I'm
stinks in there.
Huh?
It smells so bad. I've done it once, and it's the most disgusting area you could ever be. You think you go to yoga, you're gonna see all these hot chicks and all that. It smells like one big foot and ass in there. It is the most non-sexy environment you could possibly be in. It's disgusting.
It sounds like it's raining.
You didn't do it where Melanie was doing it. That's the problem.
I didn't.
Yeah.
You do it, Daddy Day Camp.
I wouldn't want to. Coop, what the hell, man?
Second cook of the week. Yes. All right. Yes.
Sorry, Paul.
We've rubbed off on Coop now. Poor guy.
Oh, man. Melanie, do you think it's weird if a guy... Oh, we're ready to go?
I don't know. No, go ahead, Paul.
We have a few minutes. Melanie, do you think it's weird if a guy that doesn't really have a lot of experience with children and is having his first child goes to a daddy boot camp to learn stuff about being a dad and changing diapers and what to do with babies? Is that weird?
No, not at all.
Okay.
I didn't go to a mommy boot camp, but I read books before I had babies. So yeah.
Listen, you're not going to find a woman out there who won't slightly sympathize with you, but every single man with a pair of balls is going to make fun of you for the rest of your life. Just get used to that.
Yes.
And I didn't actually.
Melanie, he paid to go to a class so he could teach him how to put a diaper on the baby, as if it needs a manual or something.
Bless your heart.
I didn't go though because it was canceled.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. You went and no one went there or something like that.
No, it was canceled. Yeah, for some reason. I don't remember why.
You didn't bring the baby.
Oh yeah, nobody could bring a baby.
Paul, you got to go buy a book now. You got to go or what's that digital little baby thing that you can feed in the Tamagotchi? Tamagotchi.
I had the book called "Dude, You're Gonna Be a Dad." I read that.
Yes, that's good. There you go. Now
I skimmed it.
Not expecting.
Listen, I didn't buy one book. I didn't watch one video. I didn't go to one class.
All right,
there weren't videos when you were being a dad.
I just
didn't
think it was required.
So you didn't go to the breastfeeding classes, Abe?
No.
Because I went to those too, and CPR.
I wasn't planning on breastfeeding any of them.
Why did you go to those?
I was there as support. It was like, the importance of breastfeeding.
What are you going to support? What do you mean you're going to support?
He's going to help make the connection.
You keep doing your thing, man. Keep doing it.
Paul's going to guide the connection in. All right, a little to the left, a little to the right. We got a lock, people. We got a lock.
All right, and with that, let's see this week who belongs in a cigar insane asylum.
Oh boy, what a tangent!
Music's playing.
Welcome
Do we
to
audio?
the Cigar Asylum,
Did you know I'm utterly insane? We all go a little mad sometimes.
where logic and reason cease to exist.
All right, Abe. This week, who belongs in the Cigar Insane Asylum?
Okay, in typical Paul fashion, I didn't get this till this morning, so I apologize in advance.
I sent it to you last night.
Well, I didn't see it last night.
It was 12 a.m. That's
true.
That's not
This
last
week's
night.
inductees have stooped lower than almost any other in our history. At some point in our lives, all of us get the entrepreneur bug as kids, inevitably leading to our first lemonade stand. The classic childhood business is full of real-world lessons in business, interpersonal communication, and ethics. Recently, it gave two young boys an even more dramatic introduction to the real world. Recently, two males approached Jude Peterson and his friends as they sold lemonade on the corner in Peoria, Illinois. In a video provided by a neighbor, the male in a dark hoodie, who was described as a teenager, moves fast, displaying what looks like to be a firearm at the young businessman. The male then quickly snatches the boy's cash box, running off with the $30. The gunman is still at large. Well, not too large, because he robbed a lemonade stand with a pick of only $30. But Nathan, one of the boy's fathers, said first he was horrified. Nathan was in the basement when his wife called him down, saying she'd just been told the boys were jumped at their lemonade stand. Luckily, no one was hurt in the robbery, and the community has risen up to support the boys both emotionally and financially. Congratulations, lemonade stand robber. You are this week's inductee into the Cigar Sale Asylum for stealing, well, I guess, cash from a baby.
$30 from small children, yes.
Isn't $30 a lot to have at a lemonade stand, by the way?
That is a lot. What do you guys do?
Probably selling them $1 a cup, dude. No one's selling 10-cent lemonades like they did back when you were a kid.
I've never had any lemonade. I don't know. I can't answer that.
Vic's on. I was going to say hi to Vic. He's just joined.
So, Coop, what's going on Cigar After Coop this week?
We got reviews coming up of the Monte Cristo 50, the Room 101 Farce Maduro, and the Alec and Bradley Geekkeeper.
Very nice. And so, Melanie, what do you have this weekend? Because at 2 p.m. on Sunday.
Oh, my God. You remembered. This is awesome. Yes. 2 p.m. Eastern Daylight Savings Time on Sunday. All you have to do is get on our Facebook Live. It shoots from my Facebook profile, but you can go to Facebook. It is The Professor Show on Facebook, and you can follow our like our page and be able to see the video there at 2 p.m. Eastern Daylight Savings Time. And our special guest this week is one and only Glenn Luke.
All right.
You should have some good stuff to talk about.
I think so. And then we also have, and there's a lot more other stuff coming up. So I actually have I'm about to produce a video about Alec. I had Bradley. Actually, I interviewed Bradley from Alec and Bradley about their cigars. So we went through theirs.
Nice.
And Aliva. So I'm excited.
I also saw you recently playing drums on Nick's drum set. Now, are you a drum player?
I am not a drum player. I used to be. I used to play the drums. I was in the band.
Oh, you are a drum player.
Yeah.
It's called a drummer.
Yeah. It's called a drummer.
Why don't you learn to do your job and come back and correct me later?
But that was amazing. that drum set was just. That was probably one of the biggest highlights of my adventures just because it's so impressive. But yeah, I got to.
That was probably one of the biggest highlights for that drum set too.
Yeah. I don't know. Nick's wife is a beautiful woman, so.
She's lovely. I love her. Did she play the drums too?
She was so sweet. They were awesome.
Drums, that's awesome.
Wait, before we go, can I ask a question?
Absolutely.
Melanie, is that your boyfriend behind you there? Is he eating breakfast?
He is smoking his breakfast cigar, I guess. He likes to give me my time to be able to be out here. But hey, say hi, Mark.
Hi, Mark.
Hey, Mark.
Hi.
That's awesome.
Yep. So he is my definitely my supporter. Gives me the time, the ability, the business knowledge, and the love to be able to do what I do.
That's awesome.
Very grateful.
All right.
Great. Paul, obviously you don't got nobody next week, right?
Well, we're working on it.
Of course not. Of course not.
We need to do your job for you.
Whenever you're ready, I don't even need a 2-week notice from him. Just let me know when you're moving. Get some real talent on the show.
Coop, who should we get for next week so Paul can actually try and do his job?
Oh, that'd be awesome, Coop. Hook a brother up.
Maybe you guys need to get. Have you guys had Gabby Caffey on here?
Many times.
Great guy. Great guy.
What about like one of the influencers? Maybe like one of the influencers.
Like Melanie Sisco.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot.
Carlito's still on. Carlito, call Abe after the show. He wants to talk.
I was gonna say Carlito. Yeah, that'd be a good one.
I did reach out. Carlito was on the second episode I think we ever had. I did reach out to Carlito this week, and he said he'd get back to us. He definitely is probably interested. He's just a busy guy, so we got to coordinate it.
He's a super sweet guy. I'm sure that he will do all he can to make it happen.
Listen to me. This is not about that there's not people to get out there. This is about Paul just not doing his job. So let's not confuse this. I could line up 8 guests for the next 8 weeks within 3 hours of work. 2 hours. Just by texting. So this is not about there's not a lot of people out there. It's just Paul just doesn't do his job.
I got plenty of time.
Yeah.
Yeah, he says that.
Thanks for coming out. Coop, as always, a pleasure to talk to you. And check out Coop's Battle of Your Bands Coop Edition sampler. It's at smokein.com/battle. He's got one of the best write-ups about why he chose those cigars. So check that out. And then other than that, we'll see you all next week. Keep it lit.
Keep it lit.
Keep it lit.